everybody, I'm here today to talk to you about 5 ways to use your turn signals while driving. In this video, I'll be going over 5 specific situations in which you should be using your turn signals while you're driving. Now, there are many other times in which you should be using your turn signals, but I'm just going over 5 of what I consider to be the most common times. Now, let's get right to it. The first way to use your turn signals while driving is when you're switching lanes. Now, this is one that people fail to remember the most. Now, when you're switching lanes, you have to think about this. Whether you're driving on a main road or the highway, whatever the case is, you're driving at a relatively fast speed. I know it doesn't feel that fast when you're in a car, but compared to someone that's walking, it's really fast. And when you think about the speed, 50 kilometers an hour, 100 kilometers an hour, that's actually really fast. And you're driving this vehicle that weighs several thousand pounds. So with that being said, you're moving a heavy object at a high rate of speed. And there's other heavy objects moving at high rates of speed around you. You should be signaling to let everybody know what you're doing. If you think about the unsafeness of the situation when you switch lanes without signaling, it's just unsafe. You're moving at a high rate of speed, a super heavy object, and you're just moving it around without letting anybody know where you're going. So it's as simple as that. Number 1 is switching lanes. Number 2 is when you make a turn. Whether you're turning right or you're turning left, when you're making a turn driving forward, and I'll go over the opposite in just a moment, you should be using your turn signal. It lets everybody else know what your intentions are. If you're on a road and you're gonna make a turn, you're probably gonna have to slow down before you make the turn. If you don't use your signal, the person behind you is gonna be thinking, well, why are you slowing down? But if you use your signal before you turn, the person behind you is gonna know that person's turning, that's why they're slowing down. It's as simple as that. Number 3 is when you pull over. If you are driving a car and you have to pull over onto the side of the road, it's important that you just put your turn signal on to let everyone else know that you're pulling over. Or else the person behind you, the person in front of you in the oncoming lane, is just gonna see you driving towards the side of the curb and coming to a stop. And they're gonna be thinking, are you gonna go? Are you turning? Are you stopping? What's the situation? So you should be using your turn signal when you have to pull over to let everyone know what your plans are. Number 4, when you're reversing. Now, a lot of people fail to remember this one. When they're reversing, they just reverse to one direction or the other. They don't use their signal. It's important to use your signal when you're reversing for a few reasons. Number 1, to let everyone know what your intentions are. But number 2, when you're reversing, you have limited vision. So you can turn your head, you have limited vision, okay? And if you put your signal on and you don't see someone, a car, a pedestrian, but you have your signal on, they're gonna be already on high alert that you're going that way, that you're planning on reversing that way. So use your turn signal when you're reversing to make up for your potential errors. That's right. If you make an error and you don't see someone, a pedestrian, let's say, in a parking lot behind your parking spot, if you use your signal, that pedestrian might see that signal and might be able to use evasive techniques to get out of the way. So it could literally mean the safety of yourself and everyone else, okay? Use your signal when you're reversing. And last but not least, number 5 is a 3-point turn. When you're doing a 3-point turn, you have to pull over, you gotta move to one side of the road, go back, and continue to move forward. So with that being said, you're moving in different directions, okay? You're doing a 3-point turn, multiple directions, so it's important that you use your signal to let everyone know what you're doing. And it's as simple as that. In this video, I've gone over 5 ways to use your turn signals while driving. Now, there are many other times in which you should be using your turn signal as well, but I consider these to be like the 5 most important or most well-known times in which you should use your turn signal. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.